Hey you guys, it's Britt. Tonight we're here to talk about quite a few things. I just had thoughts about several different things that have been happening. One has to do with Sesh, a little update with her. I also want to talk about Adam McIntyre specifically in the beginning of this video. And we're also going to talk about Colleen Ballinger possibly being spotted out in public and kind of everybody having their thoughts about that, but we're going to cover everything. So if you're interested, please keep watching. All right, you guys, so first things first, we're going to talk about Adam McIntyre for just a quick second. You know, I shared on my community tab that he was very heavily on my mind because he was dealing with mourning the loss of a pet, and specifically it's his cat Milo. And I was on his live stream the night before, and it was just so upsetting to sometimes these things happen and you can personally relate so closely with what someone is going through. And I like Adam. I think that he's a genuine person, and I felt pain on his behalf because I understand that level of sadness, and I felt for him. But the next day he shared that he made the decision that was in his cat's best interest after gaining a second opinion from a veterinarian, and he was going through the loss of his cat. And I felt for him. I shared on my community tab about it, and you know it was brought to my attention that Twitter, which y'all already know how I feel about Twitter. I think it's a toxic cesspool. I will never be on Twitter, never have been, never will be. Literally clip this and check on me in 10 years. I will never have Twitter. But evidently people on Twitter were really getting on Adam because he shared a photo of him and Milo at the vet right before he made that decision. And you could tell that he was crying, and it was a very sad moment that he was choosing to share with social media, and people just had so many problems with this. Let me tell you guys something. Is that exactly what I would have done? I'm not sure, because I haven't been on social media, and luckily I haven't had to deal with that situation during my time on social media. So I can't say for certain. But if he felt like sharing that very candid, extremely personal moment with his followers, that is his choice. Adam is a consenting adult. He can decide to do what he wants to do when he wants to do it. But for people to jump all over him and say that, oh, this shouldn't be photoed, oh, you're live tweeting the death of your pet, like, y'all are so weird. I think sometimes people forget that Adam is 21. And I don't know about you guys, but when I was 21, I was much less mature than Adam McIntyre is currently when he's 21. I made some very stupid decisions when I was 21 years old. And Adam has shown poise and grace and maturity when he could have been extremely immature and distasteful with certain situations that he has had to process publicly because of the things that he has been through during his time on social media. He has shown grace and maturity, and I think that it's absolutely pathetic that people would jump all over him for choosing to share a very deeply personal and painful moment that he was going through. He made that decision. That's what he wanted to do. He wasn't jumping on there and trying to collect donations for something and being all shady, or using something like his pet's death to profit. Like, y'all are weird. I think that it's sick and twisted that people took that and used it against him. But I think Adam is, similar to several other commentary channels, and I can put myself in that bunch as well, but there are just a very select group of people who they're always looking for my next mistake, my next bad opinion that I can, be dragged for or picked apart over. There are just people that are literally waiting for that to happen. And unfortunately, when you do commentary and you talk about accountability culture and all of these kinds of things, you will get those few people who are literally just waiting for you to do something that they can disagree with so that they can drag you over it. My heart goes out to Adam, and I hope that he is okay. I hope that he is surrounded with friends who can help him through this process. And he's on my mind. I have thought about him non-stop over the last, specifically the last 24 to 48 hours since all of this has happened. So either way, this video is not solely about Adam, but I wanted to put that in the beginning because I think that it deserves attention. Y'all who chose to drag him over that, should absolutely seek therapy because it's weird. Let's move on to Sesh. So there's a couple updates when it comes to Sesh. This situation is really backfiring big time for her. The first thing I want to say is there is talks of her having been an employee of TMZ, and somebody said that Peter shared that, and I haven't watched Peter's video of exactly what he said, but whether or not she worked for TMZ, to me, it doesn't necessarily matter. Do I think that it kind of shines a light on her style of content and maybe the way that she knows how to market herself to get more clicks, because she is doing influencer gossip, and TMZ does celebrity gossip. So do I think that those two lines can kind of cross over and make a little bit more sense? Yes. But as far as it being like something super noteworthy, does it change my mind on how I feel about her or feel about the situation? No, it does not. But I wanted to mention it because I did get a few comments stating that. The next thing I want to say is this comment that she responded to was very interesting to me. She responded to someone and said, "He knows exactly how I feel about James. Trust," in all capital letters. "They aren't close like everyone assumes, and neither are we." And she put in parentheses, "Manny and I. Playing nice doesn't always equal, quote, friendship," end quote. There's a lot to unpack in that comment. First, let's talk about he knows exactly how I feel about James. So, Sesh, how do you feel about James? Because that is a mystery to the internet. Nobody knows how you feel about James because 2 months ago when you decided to talk about him, you wanted to talk about his stupid brand that he was launching with his stupid, painted and all of this drama. The elephant in the room is you acting like you have all of these morals and wanting to stand on this moral compass and hold everybody accountable, while you have literally been silent about James Charles when it comes to the things that he should actually be called out over. But it's crickets, and let's talk about his makeup brand and some lighthearted drama. That's the problem. So no, we don't know. And if Manny knows, why don't your subscribers know? They're the ones that built your channel. Manny did not. As far as her saying they aren't close like everyone assumes, I don't believe that, because when influencers are choosing to follow one another on social media, they know that that is setting a very clear message of, I am closer than just a general acquaintance with this person. We are choosing to follow each other on social media, and Manny has been around long enough to know that when drama pops off, people are watching. Who's following, who's unfollowing. He is not stupid. He's not new to this game. And I think that it's just an absolute cop out to literally sit there and say, oh, well, they're not, very close. And as far as her saying neither are we, Manny and I, that is the one part of this I actually do believe, because I think that this is a friendship where one person thinks that they are closer friends than they actually are. And in this situation, I think that Sesh probably thinks that Manny thinks much more highly of her than he actually does. And of course, I'm just guessing. But these YouTubers have a history of using and manipulating drama and commentary channels. And those drama and commentary channels that fall for it will eventually be, talked about. And now we have Sesh, who decided to do this awful face reveal collab with Manny of all people. And it was made very clear that she most likely thinks that they are much closer than, Manny needs Sesh in his corner so that he's not having 100 videos made about him. Let's be real. And the last part of her comment I thought was also very interesting. Playing nice doesn't always equal quote unquote friendship. So are you saying that you are playing fakery nice with people? Is that what you're saying, like the influencer and YouTuber scene is like? You're nice to somebody's face and then you're talking about them behind their backs? Because that sounds about right. Based on what I have seen with influencer culture and these fake YouTuber friendships, that actually does sound quite accurate. It's a bunch of fake, phony baloney, and these people run around and use each other for content, clicks, views, and they really could not care less. None of these people are, none of them truly care about one another. And that's been my perception based on the last years of seeing kind of these fakery bonds be formed on YouTube. Let's run down the list of who Sesh is still following. Now, a couple of these people I have mentioned, like James Charles, but I want to go over some of the other people that I think are problematic or semi-problematic, some of them. But I want to drop this list, and I want you guys to tell me, out of this list, who do you find to be the most suspicious outside of James Charles and Colleen Ballinger? So starting at the top, Jojo Siwa, Adam McIntyre. So she follows Adam, which I am here for that, but you're also following Colleen Ballinger and James Charles and all of these people. Like, Adam McIntyre is nothing like these people, so I find that to be very interesting that you're following the person who groomed Adam McIntyre and you're also following Adam McIntyre. What a weird place to exist. But she also follows Manny, Laura, Colleen Ballinger, James Charles, Rich Lux, Jeffree Star, Logan Paul, Trisha Paytas, Acacia Kersey. Remember good old Acacia Kersey? Mommy, vlogger, exploiter of her children who left her kids unattended so that she could go play video games and take photos in the woods. I covered that a few months ago. I'll link that video down below. Landon McBroom, awful individual. Jaclyn Hill, Olivia Jade, remember a college fraud scandal, and her mommy is Lori Loughlin. Sloan, Shane Dawson, David Dobrik, and Tana Mojo. So I would really like to know, out of that list, how do you feel about these people? How do you feel about this group of people specifically? And if you have specific thoughts about any of them that maybe you don't want to leave in the comments, I totally get that. I get DMs, saying, hey, I didn't want to leave this in a comment, but this is how I feel. Tell me how you feel about this group of people, because as a drama channel, I don't feel like you should be following the people that you are covering. That is sending out a message of, hey, I'm going to call you out and make a bunch of videos, but I'm also following you on social media. Like, I don't know. I just think that the conversation that keeps on coming up about commentary channels, drama channels, doing their best to remain unbiased, and I just feel like there's way too many lines that have crossed and intersected and kind of commingled with this entire Sesh conversation, and it's really exposing just how crooked and untrustworthy some drama channels are. The last thing I want to talk about before I move on to this little Colleen Ballinger allegation possible sighting is the term protector. I've been using that consistently in my videos. Peter Mon has been using that consistently in his videos. And I saw a comment chain of somebody saying, well, we shouldn't be throwing around that word on these people like Robbie DeChristie and JoJo Siwa and Spill Sesh and Manny and Laura. That's too heavy of a label to place on these people. What I want to say is that if you are actively following somebody and you're hanging out with this person in real life, like let's just play pretend for a second. Let's say that in real life I was friends with somebody like James Charles. It would be time for me to sever that friendship, because if I am still actively choosing to remain friends with that person, then I am protecting my friendship and therefore I am protecting them, because I am choosing to just remain loyal to them even though they are putting other people in danger and harming others. So in a way, yes, I do believe that these people are protecting by still choosing to follow them and be cordial and all of this kind of stuff and just stay crickets and not say anything. You are showing your lack of morals, and that's how I feel about it. Would I want to be called a protector? No, but I would also make damn sure that I make my stance known, and it would be very loud and very clear immediately exactly where I stand, because my integrity and my morals are way too important to juggle over some fake phony little YouTuber friendship of somebody who I think is my friend, even though they wouldn't spit on me if I was on fire. Now, let's move on to this Colleen possible sighting. This was over on her Reddit, and supposedly she was over at the movies with this guy, Stu, who is somebody who, hung out with her and Corey and is somehow involved in like her. He's around. It doesn't really matter, but there were photos, and they're not super clear photos, and that's what I have to say. So this is allegedly. But it does look like her, and it does look like Stu, and it looks like she chopped her hair off, so she's definitely going through a new chapter. Do I personally think that it was her? I'm at like a 75-25 on this, because I am not fully convinced, because they're not crystal clear photos. So I'm still not fully on board with it. But if it is her, she was at the movies with this guy, Stu, like, okay, like she left the house. I don't think that anyone expected her to literally sit in her house for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months, however long she's going to stay off the internet. Like, she's going to have to leave her house. She's going to have to continue living life. I think that it's best that she does go see a movie instead of trying to come back to YouTube. I would rather see her in the TJ Maxx or the Marshalls or the movies, or, down at Chili's having dinner, versus trying to slither her way back to her platform and sad fish and sit here and collect sympathy and try to come back as some kind of, having some kind of moral high ground by coming back and doing her birthday fundraiser and making people feel bad for her. So I'd rather see her out in public. So if it was her, which I don't know, good. Stay off YouTube, because as soon as she comes back to YouTube, I can already hear it. She's going to come back here crying and hemming and hawing, and I'm going to make a video about it. And then people are going to be like, oh, can't you see she is just, trying to come back because it's been X number of months. It's been X number of days. Like, I can already see how it's going to unravel, and it's definitely going to piss me off, because she will be able to get people to feel sorry for her. It's guaranteed. She still has people that are so vocal about supporting her, and they are just literally counting down the minutes, hoping that she comes back to YouTube and makes her, you know, such great content, really groundbreaking, you know. But nevertheless, those are my thoughts on all of this stuff. I can't wait to see this comment section. Tell me about this group of people that Spill Sesh is following. How do you feel about them? How do you feel about biases? How do you feel about Colleen, you know, being spotted out in the wild? Well, we'll see. So for now, if you like the video, please leave a like in the comments. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.